tutti, welcome back to Venite a Mangiare. My name is Allegra and today I'm going to be sharing my recipe for chocolate chip pumpkin oatmeal cookies. With Halloween just around the corner and being in the middle of fall, I thought it'd be a great idea to make something with pumpkin. This recipe is super simple. It only uses like 6 or 7-ish ingredients and it tastes awesome. This was a recipe that I actually created back in college. I wanted to do some baking one day and I only wanted to use the ingredients that my roommate and I already had in our tiny little college apartment. And because it was the middle of fall, we had a ton of pumpkin stocked up, so I decided to create this recipe. Per usual, I'll do a quick run through of how to put this recipe together, and then after we can talk nutrition.
For this recipe, you will need 1 cup of pumpkin puree, 2 cups of old-fashioned oats, a half a cup of creamy nut butter, a 1/4 cup of honey or syrup or agave, a dash of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and around half a cup to a cup of chocolate chips. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. In a large mixing bowl, mix together pumpkin puree, honey, nut butter, and vanilla extract until well blended. Add oats and cinnamon and mix until well blended. Add chocolate chips and mix to incorporate into the batter. Prepare a baking sheet and use a small ice cream scoop to scoop dough onto the baking sheet. Use the back of a spoon to press down on each cookie, making the cookies around 3/4 of an inch thick. Bake for 10 to 15 minutes. And I forgot to take a video of me pulling the cookies out of the oven, so here's that same video in reverse. Let those cookies cool for around 5 to 10 minutes. Enjoy the chocolatey goodness.
Alright, we're gonna let those cookies cool off for a little bit, but in the meantime, let's talk nutrition. Call me basic, but I get super excited for fall because of all the cooking that you can do with pumpkin. The pumpkin in this recipe comes from pumpkin puree. I just used a canned pumpkin puree for this recipe because the texture is consistent, it's convenient, and it tastes great. Pumpkin puree is first made by removing the seeds and the stringy flesh from the inside of the pumpkin. The pumpkin is then roasted, which softens the flesh. The softened flesh is then blended into a smooth puree. However, most canned pumpkin purees actually contain other types of squash, such as butternut or winter squash. This is typically done just because other varieties of squash are generally less stringy and have a richer color and sweetness compared to pumpkin. But you're probably thinking, wait, why does my pumpkin puree say 100% pumpkin on the label? Well, the FDA, which is the organization responsible for food labeling in the US, actually has a very lenient definition of what they consider pumpkin. Because of this, companies are able to pack a variety of different types of squash into their pumpkin puree and still label it as 100% pumpkin. Nonetheless, all types of squash generally offer the same types of nutritional benefits. Whether it's winter squash or summer squash or butternut squash or pumpkin, the type of squash that you're eating in your pumpkin puree is particularly high in vitamin A. Vitamin A is one of our fat-soluble vitamins. It is an essential nutrient involved in immune function, vision, and cellular communication. One form of vitamin A, called retinol, is needed for our vision because it's part of a protein in the eye called rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is located in the retinal receptors in the eye and is responsible for absorbing light, which helps us to see. Vitamin A also helps to support the function of the cornea and the membrane of the conjunctiva. Oats are not only a great breakfast food, but they can also be used as a substitute for flour in certain recipes. In this recipe, the oats really give these cookies their structure. Oats grow best in cold and wet climates. Oats refers to the edible seed of the oat grass. Once they are harvested, they are used for animal feed, skin products, or may be further processed to make food. To make food, the oats are milled, steamed, heated, and then cooled in a kiln, which brings out their flavor. The oats are then rolled, cut, or ground to produce oatmeal, flakes, or flour. Oats by nature are gluten-free, however, they're typically processed in the same areas that wheat is processed to make gluten-containing products. Because of this, oats cannot be labeled as gluten-free unless they're processed in an area where cross-contamination with gluten can't occur. In terms of nutrition, oats contain several components which have been shown to be beneficial to your health. One of those components is soluble fiber. Soluble fiber is a type of fiber that is soluble in water, meaning it dissolves to form a gel. It has been shown to slow digestion, which can increase satiety and suppress appetite, which may aid in weight management. Beta-glucan, which is the type of soluble fiber found in oats, may be beneficial in lowering your cholesterol levels. Beta-glucan can bind with bile acids in the small intestine, which contain cholesterol. These bile acids can then be transported through the digestive tract and out of the body, ultimately reducing your cholesterol levels. So eating plenty of soluble fiber may be beneficial in helping to lower cholesterol. Not to mention, it may also help to manage blood sugars and maintain bowel health. The bad news is that the average American typically isn't eating enough fiber throughout the day. The American Heart Association recommends that the average American eat around 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day from food sources and not supplements. But the average American is typically only getting around 15 grams of fiber per day. So I'm gonna go try to increase my fiber intake for the day by eating one of these cookies. So come eat, venite a mangiare. Hi guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. This is just a reminder that this video is made for educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. You should always consult your doctor if you have any questions about your health status. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up below. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell next to it to get notifications for every time I post a video. There will be new videos every Thursday. Thanks again for watching.